Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us here today. Let me start by welcoming our guest here today. Today we have with us Mr. Saurabh Mittal, the Chief Technology Officer at Piramal Capital and Housing Finance Limited. Welcome Saurabh. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Sophia. It's great to be here.
Thank you, Saurabh. So Saurabh has been in the industry for over 15 years now and has been associated with preeminent companies such as Nokia, MedLife and Amazon in the past. And just to set the context here, Piramal Capital and Housing Finance Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of Piramal Enterprises Limited, which is engaged in various financial services and businesses. So Saurabh is speaking to Dataquest along the sidelines of the opening of Piramal's new innovation center. So Saurabh, let me come back to you and thank you once again for joining us here today. What is the objective behind the launch of this innovation center? And you're opening it in Bangalore. So is there a reason why you chose Bangalore for the center? Over to you, Saurabh.
Yeah. So the objective of the innovation center is to innovate for the business, for the customers. So how we're looking at this is we are an NBFC and we give loans. So we give loans to retail customers, small businesses included. So when you look at the NBFC world, there are NBFCs who have chosen to be doing their business in an offline manner. There are those who have chosen to be in the digital transformation world where they are kind of adding a digital layer on top of whatever physical processes they had and using that to drive the business. We've made a choice to be what we call tech first in every aspect of our business. So in how we acquire customers, in how we underwrite our customers, in how we manage the loan cycle of our customers, how we do collections, how we do financial reporting, end to end, we want to be tech first. So as we're looking at being tech first in all aspects of the business, we recognize that there is a whole lot of interesting problem statements that exist out of there, and in fact, a whole lot more that probably need to be discovered. So the purpose of this innovation center is to identify the various problems that should be solved, and then apply the best of creative tech thinking. Excuse me. The best of creative tech thinking to then solve those problems. Sometimes we get it in like one attempt, and sometimes it may require multiple attempts. But the thinking is to remain invested into problems of interest until we have taken them to the levels that we feel comfortable about.
That's great, Saurabh. Thank you for setting that context. I mean, you mentioned about wanting to be tech first and a technology, company. So this wouldn't be possible without a team. So what is the hiring strategy that you're going for this new innovation center? I mean, what are the kind of roles that you're looking to hire for?
Yeah. So this is going to be a core tech setup. When you look at the roles we have and you compare that with consumer techs or fintechs, you won't find any difference. So we would have product managers, we would have UX designers, we would have software development engineers, multiple levels of each of these. We would have quality assurance people, we would have software engineers, software development engineers, testing. We would take care of the automation in the quality assurance. We would have DevOps people, and we would have data engineers. We would have machine learning engineers. We would have data scientists. So the whole range of roles that typically go into a tech company. That's what we're hiring for. Now, in terms of our hiring strategy, what we've done is we've created levels for each of the roles, and we're hiring across levels. There's an intention to have a mix of senior and junior people across all the roles. We're very conscious of not bringing in only like campus freshers in a given role, because if they don't get the right mentorship through seniors, then they won't find the right career growth. And I believe if we don't set them up like that, then their careers will not be off to a good start. So we try to hire the senior folks first, and then go for the lower level hiring. The lower level hiring is mostly done from campuses. We go to the top colleges, we go to the top engineering and management campuses to attract talent from there. And the senior hiring is mostly lateral hiring from market. So far, we've done quite well. We've had people joining us from IITs, IIMs, consumer tech, fintech companies as well. People from Amazon are here, people from Flipkart are here, Microsoft, Disney, Hotstar, a bunch of those. So far, I think we've done reasonably well in attracting top tech talent into this company.
But that's a very fair hiring strategy, Saurabh, if I may say. And you spoke about hiring really skilled, highly skilled engineering talent. So, what are the kind of innovations that you're planning to work on, and what are the kind of technologies that you're planning to leverage?
Yeah. So, when you look at the lending experience of a customer, uh, it is largely broken, and more so in the secured lending world. In the unsecured world, there are still like fintechs who try to disrupt, and consumers can go through like journeys, get a loan in a few minutes, instant disbursements, and all of that. But that's a very, very small percentage of the overall lending market. Now, there isn't a place where you can, go, for example, go and get a home loan in 5 minutes. There just isn't, right? Let's say you're a non-salaried person. The large part of Bharat, the customer that you want to work with, is non-salaried, right? So they're what we classify as self-employed professionals or self-employed non-professionals, and so these people have varying businesses, varying types of work. How do you then create an underwriting infrastructure where you're able to capture the information that you need from the field, variabilize them, feed them to models that can then take decisions and do that at massive scale, right? So that you're underwriting not just one customer each time, but you're opening up opportunities to underwrite like thousands of customers of a given time at any given point of time. So that's like just one part, which could be the largest part, which will help us drive our secure business. There's a whole lot more around, on customer experience, let's say, turnaround times. How do we enable, instant disbursements, instant sanctions for all kinds of loans that we get, not just the unsecured ones, but also the secured ones. There are problems around, distribution. So what are the tools that we can build as we operate in our digital environments? We've got branches. We acquire customers via our branches, and we also acquire customers via embedded finance partners. So, for example, we recently announced people like Navi and Paytm and Zestman. They have been our partners. There's about 22 of them. They have access to customers and they want to give them loans through us. In some cases, a co-lending model. In some cases, other models. So what are the tools that we can build that allow both our branches and our embedded finance partners to acquire customers at scale for us, right? So for a salesperson, we equip them with an app that is not just any app, but is a super intelligent app that can help them capture the wide variety of information that we would take for different customer segments in Bharat and still get instant decisions. Right, and still be able to take instant decisions. For our embedded finance partners, we would build a generic API stack. We build an API, so we would recognize that each partner would have their own front-end journey that they would want to control. And at the back end, when they are interacting with a lender, they want not just flexible APIs, but also ones that scale and are low latency and all that. So what is the right API stack to build such that these partners can integrate super fast, without having any constraints on their customer journeys that they want to offer, and likewise, offer the best possible experience in terms of latencies and response times and best possible offers as well. So we've innovated and we've built something general that has allowed us to onboard some partners so far. The best of partners so far, I believe, have gone live in just about 4 weeks, which I'm told is an industry first. But I do believe that motivated partners can go live sooner than that. Motivated partners can go live in like a couple of days. We're pushing the thought even further over there. What about partners who are completely non-tech? What about somebody who has a simple website, a simple app, and wants to offer loans within that? How easy can we make it for them to offer loans to their customers? So we have conceptualized something called Loan by Piramal. So if you think about login by Google as being pervasive, many websites, apps offer that. It's very easy for them to integrate. Is there an equivalent in the lending world? That's an exploration that we're doing. A widget called Loan by Piramal that can be plugged in into any web or app with like very, very minimal tech integration, 5 to 7 minutes worth of work. So that's a problem statement which, if we believe we can solve in the right manner, that we open up massive possibilities to expand distribution for the business. So there's distribution enhancing problems that we work on. There is decisioning. How do we take better and better decisions when we are interacting with such a wide variety of customers? In that there is turnaround times, time to take decisions. And when we go deeper, what are the barriers to taking instant decisions? We realize, we need digital KYC, we need eNACH, we need bank statement analysis. And none of these really work great. There are bits and pieces that exist in the industry, but there's nothing that exists that we could say confidently works 99.99% of the times and give us accurate information that we would need. At best, these would be about 2/3 of where we would like them to be, and therefore it requires a series of investments, not just like within Piramal, but a lot of times working together with the ecosystem, with the industry partners, to invent new things that just don't exist. So what we're doing is we're identifying these barriers one at a time, with the goal of giving instant loans to the customers without compromising on credit quality. We're very, very particular about ensuring that we retain the credit quality that we have so far had, or better it, and therefore what are the inventions needed to improve the customer experience while implementing those goals.
That was a great insight into the kind of innovations that you're working on. I mean, Saurabh, thank you for that. But it's also interesting that you mentioned that the majority of the people out there are, non-salaried, and you mentioned about partners being non-tech. So that brings me to my next question. How important is the role? What is the role really played by technology when it comes to customers, and how pervasive is technology in a market like India?
So in the NBFC world, when we look at, people have typically said digital versus non-digital, right? So we look at fintechs and we realize that fintechs have done a great job at certain parts of lending, increasing distribution, having great customer experiences, but they haven't done so much when it comes to the underwriting infrastructure, when it comes to being able to underwrite a wide variety of customers, and certain other parts of it. So, I would think that the lending world, especially the secure lending world, is largely non-digital today, right? And that these innovations that we're talking about, these interventions that we're going to work on, will help change that. Of course, it's we fundamentally believe that it's a matter of time that when lending becomes largely online in nature, but we feel confident that it will happen and that tech will drive that change. So we just want to invest it.
The point about tech driving change is well taken. Thank you, Saurabh, for that. So, Saurabh, this is going to sound a little bit cliched, but our viewers still want to know, what are the technology trends that we can expect in the upcoming year?
Well, I'll limit this answer to our world, which is the NBFC world. I think we're going to see an acceleration of the account aggregator framework. The framework allows people to very easily share their banking information with potential lenders. The framework exists; it's scaling quite well, and we believe we'll see a significantly larger adoption of this framework next year, which will open up the possibilities of giving credit to many of those customers in Bharat who are today treated as new to credit. Those who don't have a civil record and therefore have lesser opportunities to take loans from many traditional lenders. The opportunities will open up because of what we would call verified banking information coming via the account aggregator framework. I would also, like to think that some of the recent announcements that have happened around ChatGPT and DALL-E, people are starting to see the possibilities of machine learning a whole lot more, and therefore, mind is opening up to possibilities that previously the mind was constrained to think about, and therefore, I would think that the machine learning investments in the lending world are going to go to a different orbit altogether. From where we are, where they're used for building, certain static models in some cases, to a whole lot more thinking about continuous learning of the machines to build more and more personalized experiences for the customers, and to embed intelligence in every application, every little piece that we build or that we offer to our users and to our customers. So those two, I think, will be the large ones. There will be a few smaller ones as well, but I think we found aggregated framework and machine learning itself going to a different level of maturity in the NBFC world. I think that's what I would think will be two large things next year.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for giving us an insight into everything that the Innovation Center will be working on. And I'm sure technology will drive the change, like you said, considering the fact that now every company is a digital company. Thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you for your time.
Nice interacting with you. Thank you.
Thank you.